Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors.
It's important to inspect what you expect. If you're not inspecting your plan, if you're not reviewing your plan,
or if your financial advisor is not inspecting it,
correct,
then you need a second opinion. Come see us.
Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right.
908-844-8337, therealretireesofnewjersey.com. All that information, you can find it here in the show notes. Thanks for streaming The Real Retirees of New Jersey with Randy and Peggy Fisher, all powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. My name is Mark Owens, continuing our conversation about having the best 2026, the best year ever. What did we say off the air? We said health, wealth, and happiness.
That's right.
Health, wealth, what? No.
I thought you said brown liquor, vodka, and beer.
Damn straight.
Because that's
a three amigos right there.
Randy.
I think I sent you all a picture over the holidays of me just sipping on some brown liquor.
Yeah, we saw that, baby.
And now every time, I don't even call it like Woodford. I don't even say I'm having a little bourbon. It's always like, let me send a picture of my brown liquor to Peggy, because I can hear them rolling their eyes all the way up the East Coast.
I love it.
Funny.
So let's get back to it. Last week, we talked about the milestone moments, if you will. Wedding, grandkids, college, the big events of your life, those confetti moments, if you will, and how to prepare for those. Well, let's take a turn. Let's go the opposite direction. What about the emergency, the speed bumps in life? What if you think there may be a pink slip in your future, a corporate downsizing, a forced retirement? What if, unfortunately, you think a gray divorce may be happening this year? How do you prepare for these speed bump moments?
You want to go?
Well, yeah, sure. So the way I think that we should do this, again, as we talked last time, was also about putting away a little side card of something, right? So if something does happen, they always talk about if you budgeting in, make sure you have like 6 months of your salary. We don't even need to get that crazy with it. But even if you think this year, okay, you know what? I don't even have anything planned, right? Let me do 2 months or 3 months. Let's put something away to the side, something that we're not going to touch for something, just like you said, and an emergency comes up. You lose your job. Something happens with your health. You can't be at your job for some reason. I have a couple clients like that who that did happen to, but since we put away the side cart on the money, they said, thank God I had that just in case of emergency, right? Mm-hmm. In case of emergency, I'm looking at our sign. It says break glass. We got a lot of $100 bills in there, Randy. Is that what we're doing?
People love that. They love
do
that
when they come to the office, right?
So there's I don't know, what do you call it?
Like a plaque.
It's not a plaque.
Shadow box type thing?
Yeah, shadow box. Exactly.
It's full. It's a box with a window in it, filled with like $100 bills.
And that's every time people come to our office, they're like, "Is that real? Are you really going to break that glass?"
So I haven't had it yet.
Yeah,
like a damn tip jar or something. What's happening?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I wish it was.
Yeah.
Thinking about let's go to job loss right now.
Yeah.
I mean, most people who basically lose their job, the first thing that they do when they don't have any kind of
income, like side income.
Forget about the income.
Yeah.
But even just savings for like an emergency fund.
Yeah.
What do? They raid their retirement accounts.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that.
Right? So that's one of the worst things you can potentially do, because not only are you in bad shape to begin with, now what you're doing is you're withdrawing future dollars.
Yeah, that's not good.
On top of that, depending on how old you are, right? So then you're either going to owe the IRS a 10% excise penalty on money withdrawn prior to 59 and a half.
We don't want to do that.
And it's all taxable.
Yeah.
So, when you're in a real bind and you're looking for money to make ends meet, next thing you know, you're withdrawing the future and you're spending it. Uncle Sam's getting a piece of it and you're being penalized.
Yeah, so then the money goes down real fast.
Wouldn't it be smarter, as Peggy said, forget about 6 to 12 months worth of savings.
Yeah.
You can only get to 6 to 12 months of savings when you get to 1 month.
Right.
And then when you get to 1 month, then you add on top of it, and potentially you can get to 2.
Yes.
And then eventually you can get to 3 and 4.
Right.
And on and on. But you can't get to 6 to 12 if you don't start with 1.
Right.
Right? So you have to start someplace. I love the people who say, well, that boat is passed. Well, what boat's passed?
Right.
Well, you still have a job, right? Great. You still have income coming in. Yeah. Wonderful. Do you need to put away a lot of money per week? No. Right. Put away a couple bucks.
So we always talk about budget, right? Budget.
Hate that word.
I know you do. He really does hate that word. But the bottom line...
No one has a budget.
No, but but that's not true, Randy. The bottom line is, we talked about, we had a set of clients this year in 2025, right? They came into us, said they had all this debt. What are we going to do? We do want to save money, blah, blah, blah. And we said to them, be serious about it and really set the goal, have the budget, put the money to the side. And guess what? At the end of this year, they were like, thank you. We did it. They actually did it, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, emergency savings, basically, it protects your future income.
Yes.
Not just your present lifestyle.
Exactly, 100%, right?
You know, so, and again, I always say this, it's never as good as it is, and it's never as bad as it is. And give it a couple of days and things are going to change, right?
Yeah.
So even if you got laid off, you're not going to be laid off forever, hopefully.
Right, exactly.
Things will eventually change to some point. Or if they do become permanent, then you have to deal with that too. But the fact is, something is going to continually change. You want to be proactive, you want to be reactive.
Right. Yeah.
We always like to side on the fact of let's be proactive because then you're in control.
Exactly, 100%. Right?
Did you have anybody over the past year in 2025 unexpectedly get laid off or forced retirement? Like, did you have to kind of talk them off the ledge and be like, hey, man, this is what we prepare for?
No, some people just got literally shocked. Like within a couple of days, they're like, oh, I just got let go.
Yeah.
Right. And then they go through a thought process of, well, am I old enough to retire? Am I young enough? Or am I too young to retire?
Exactly.
Right?
And do I have
Can
enough?
I retire? Do I have enough?
Exactly. That's it.
Then it literally comes down to push the button on their retirement plan, in which we've already put into place.
Exactly.
And then it's, okay, at this point in time, this is what we have. This is what your retirement roadmap and what your retirement income plan will create based off of, say your age.
Right.
God forbid you got laid off in your 50s. The first thing you're looking at is no Social Security.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's out the door.
Right.
Premature withdrawals from your retirement plan prior to 59 and a half, it's an extra 10% penalty.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Now, are there ways around it? Yes. So because we're financial planners and we've been doing this for so long, there are ways to create income from your retirement savings without being penalized that way. But again, it's still taxable. Uncle Sam's still getting a piece of the action, right? And again, if you're using time value of money and you're looking at retiring earlier, you have less money to do so, and it's got to last you what? Longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So if you potentially retire earlier and you're going to live longer, you have to have more money, right? So all those things need to be taken into consideration.
And then we always talk about, getting a second opinion. So let's say something like that does happen and you weren't prepared with your first financial planner with all these different kind of things. We always tell people in our workshops and whenever we talk to them, what is it just to get the second opinion? Is your plan what it should be for this year, right? Give a call.
If you had brain cancer, the first doctor says, hey, I'm going to just split your noggin open and we're going to suck this thing right out. You can schedule it on Tuesday or you want to go talk to somebody else, right?
You get that a second opinion. Right?
And I always joke about health and finance to be the same from an equivalence of a degree of how important things are.
Yeah, but it is very
similar. But it really is. It's almost very, very similar,
it's
right?
Very similar.
And people really don't take those things into consideration, but they should, because I would basically spend the same amount of energy and calories on trying to find out if there was another alternative medically in order to get something accomplished versus I'm just going to take somebody's word for it from a financial standpoint.
Or even like the earlier the better, right? They always say in health, you should get screened for, a mammogram screening for a woman. You should get screened for, all
prostate
different kind of things, right? Yeah. Exactly, right? Get your screening too with your financial planner. Like have, as we call it here, we have an X-ray portfolio. We get our screen, we look at it. The earlier you find out about things like that, sometimes it's for the better. I mean, we had, I don't know how many clients come into us this year and say, why couldn't I have talked to you guys sooner? Right, Randy? I mean, how many times have we heard that? If I could have just done this a little sooner. If you get this and hit it early on, and start that plan, you'll be better off.
Make 2026 different than 2025, 2024, or any year before that, right? So, if you think about it, every year you delay planning costs you options. If you think about that, you don't have to do everything today, but you do have to do something.
Right.
Start
that financial peace of mind. This year is all about peace of mind,
Your future self, I always say it to Peggy, I'm always talking to myself. I say self, and then she's like, what are you talking about?
Leave me alone. I'm talking to myself.
I know. I say that to him. He'll be like, what'd you say? I'm like, I'm talking to myself.
I'm talking to myself.
Let me talk to myself. And
Make your decision now to do something actionable is really what it comes down to. I mean, think about that. What if 2026, we're fast forwarding now, right? So let's fast forward into the end of 2026. What if at the end of 2026, your situation is exactly as it is right now? Is that a successful year? Is that progress?
I mean, for some people, they may consider that.
Right.
I mean, some people say boring is better. So if I can keep my portfolio boring, to some people, is that a good thing?
Sometimes.
Maybe.
Right.
But how about making my portfolio better than it was? I mean, I think everybody's looking
Nobody wants to
for,
lose any money,
right?
but
Yeah.
you got to make some type of a progress, right?
Exactly.
You know, we always say if you have the same amount, let's talk about money. If you have the same amount of money tomorrow as you did today, you lost.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a couple things there, right? You have time. You can never get that back. That's
right.
one of the things they'll never, ever, ever reproduce ever. But two is taxes and power of money,
Right.
the purchasing power. So moving forward, if nothing else, you need to have your money grow by at least the rate of inflation or a rate of taxation moving forward. So if you really don't want to take many chances, and no one really does, that's fine. We
Yeah.
don't like chances
Right.
either. We want to make calculated moves. We want to make sure that your money's growing at a certain pace, right? We also want to make sure that we're taking risk off the table. So if there are opportunities that are arising, whether they be political or economical or whatever it may be, we want to make sure that we can try to eliminate or limit the probability of the negative outcome within your retirement or your financial plan.
Yeah.
And then only to do that is you need action, all right? So you stay still, you're always going to get what you've always gotten because you've always did what you've always done, right? So when you think about that, you have to do something different in order to get a better result. If not, they call that insanity.
Let me ask you this. So we talk about, being prepared and having the uncomfortable conversations and always having a plan put together. Is it time to have real conversations about long-term care and about health care? Because maybe you've been putting it off 24, 25. Now you say 2026 is when I start to have these serious conversations because it's not fun to talk about.
No,
not.
not at all.
No,
In
and-
2025, we had a lot of people walk through our door, unfortunately, saying,
Yes.
well, they didn't walk through our door. We got a call in the middle of the night or on a weekend or a holiday or a vacation or whenever it was, and they said, XYZ is
My
in the
husband or
hospital
wife,
or somebody
yes,
just
right.
passed away.
Yeah, we had a lot of deaths this year. Was unfortunate.
And I hate to say it this way, but we know when we've done a good job when they're not panicking.
Yeah.
And all they're asking is, what's the next step?
Right. Exactly.
So nothing's going to bring that person back. Nothing's going to make them feel better, right? Yeah. And again, we go through a consoling process and everything else because we feel just the same. I mean, I remember a number of times, sitting there thinking about some of the clients that have passed away this year. Yeah. But knowing that all we then have to do is literally push a button and everything continues on exactly the way we said it was going to. Or a plan can be tripped into initiation in order to get something started to pick up the pieces as best we can.
And just peace of mind again, too, of knowing that you have somebody who, like Randy said, they'll just call and say, what do I need to do? We say, we've got it taken care of.
We've got it
right?
covered.
We've got it covered. We'll take care of the claims.
What do we need to do right now in order to help you?
Exactly.
And do you need a phone call to this? Do you need a phone call to the mortuary? Whatever it may be, we'll take care of everything. And then the next step is they're always going to be the next thing that needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
What is the next piece of the puzzle?
Reviewing new accounts, setting up new accounts,
Different
doing things like that. And
Just things like, auto insurance getting changed,
Yeah.
right? Deeds on a home being changed, meeting with the attorney to making sure that all those items are correct again. Beneficiary changes, all those little things.
wills, trusts,
The
everything.
big things, money coming in the door, that should have already been done.
Right.
Right. If you don't have a plan knowing that, God forbid, something happens, if you're not building your retirement income plan on a what if worst case, then you're doing it wrong.
And then also, too, a big thing is, if I was thinking for this year as well, we're going to go over with all of our clients, make sure, too, that you go over, do you have a life insurance policy? Because sometimes that could be critical also in someone passing.
It helps. It's not for everybody, but it does work.
But it's just to listen, do you have one? Might you need one? And go over, we go over all of that with our clients as well. We always ask that question, do you have a life insurance? Do you need it, right? Some do, some don't.
A health crisis is the number one bankruptcy reason in the United States.
Absolutely.
Health crisis.
Really?
Yes.
Number one. It's not because someone didn't know what to do with money or because they spent themselves into oblivion.
No.
It is because they had a major health crisis and then the family was left holding the bag at the end because it cost them so much, or they did not have the right planning tools involved. And when that person passed away, maybe so did the income.
Right.
People don't take this into consideration, but when there's a husband and wife and they're getting income,
They had two incomes.
they had two incomes coming through the door. If they were just in their working years,
When one passes, it goes to one now.
if they're in their retirement
Yes,
years, you have
right.
Social Security plus maybe some pension or something coming in the door.
Yeah.
You die, one of those Social Securities is disappearing.
Right.
Sometime that's 1/3 of what their paychecks were.
Right. But that, again, in our income planning,
Can you
we
take a
make sure- we make sure we
33%
take care of
deduction
that.
in income and continue to live your lifestyle?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Right.
So you have to take those things into consideration. That's why we always say we're going to plan for one, even though there's two.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that if and when that person is no longer here, that the income is going to continue like you were.
And like Randy said, when those clients call in for that terrible news, they know that everything's going to be okay on the side, right? Because we've planned for it.
And health is not just for disasters, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at talking about, do you have your right health care coverages? Do you have your right Medicare coverages? Do you have long-term care possibilities within, you're either going to be self-insured.
Yeah.
You can do it through long-term care insurance, right? That's a little expensive. You can do it through products that Peggy just mentioned, life insurance, which actually has an attainable long-term care coverage to it.
Right.
God forbid you get ill, you're essentially using your life insurance death benefit for your long-term care.
Right, exactly.
That's correct. That's awesome.
Right.
Right. And one of the things that people don't buy long-term care for is because they say, well, if I paid all those premiums and then I die, all those premiums were worth nothing.
Nothing, right.
With the life insurance policy, with the long-term care potential attached to it, God forbid you get sick, you can use it. God forbid when you die, we can use it again.
And that's been crucial to some of our clients
Huge.
this year.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, huge.
Yep.
I can think of 5 people off the top of my head right now. So it really, those type of plans, again, it protects your retirement assets and your future, or I should say the survivor's futures and your family's future from healthcare risks.
Right.
Let's talk about a gray divorce. Not fun to talk about, but it happens. How do you prepare for something like that? Is that something where, I don't know, you never really want to pick sides. It can't be comfortable for you either, but how do you go about a situation like that?
Well, we talked about bankruptcy being the number one.
Yeah.
You know, the number one age area in divorce right now is over age 65.
Yeah, it's high.
It's absolutely sick.
Actually, I think it's 55 because that's why
crazy.
they say gray divorce. It is like 55 and over. And the reason why they call it that is
it's life changing too.
Well, because at that age is when the kids are now out of the house, right?
Peggy can't stand me anymore.
No, the kids are out of the house. And then they say to themselves, do I want to keep doing this?
Right.
Well, either that or you now have to spend more time with each other and you find out that you either have to fall in love again or you just can't stand a person.
Randy, I fall in love with you every day.
Every day's Christmas to me because I never know what I'm going to get in the morning.
Right. Is that wonderful, Randy?
I can just hear the BS coming through the headphones here. This is... It is. Look, I know you love each other, but you are not that sappy.
No?
Are you?
I thought that sounded good. It was like a Hallmark card.
Babe, it did sound good.
Hallmark card on fire, maybe. I do think there is a lot of love here, obviously. But for a lot of people, it's like it happened to my parents. They still loved each other. They just fell out of like.
Yes,
so they
right.
got divorced.
No, and I talked about it on a
This world's crazy because you think there's a lot of people that don't like each other anymore.
Yeah.
They get divorced, but they're financially unstable on both sides of the equation. Right. They still wind up living in the same household.
Yeah.
Right? Because they can't afford literally to depart ways.
Exactly.
Because they can't afford to live separately.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Look it up. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people whose their new living arrangement is nothing different than when they were married, except that now they go their merry way on their own, but they still walk in the same kitchen, walk in the same house. Maybe they live in different rooms, but the fact is they just don't have the capabilities of living independently.
Right.
Now, what if you guys, it just axed the relationship and next thing you know, you definitely need to. If you were going from living on 2 different incomes to now living on 1 income, now you're in trouble, right?
Well, I think about the one client that we had this year who came in and said, I just want this over quick and fast. And I said, slow down. And she said she came into us because she wanted to talk money-wise because she wasn't sure if her lawyer was doing what was needed. She didn't feel like that person was on her side. And the craziest thing is after she told us the whole story, thank God she came to a financial planner because she was going to get raked over the coals. I'm like, stop. You got to stop right now.
Sure.
Right. So it's good that you called a financial planner.
You have to look at it. And again, Mark, you mentioned before, we need to be impartial on both sides of the equation. And fortunately, we haven't had many clients that have gone through that, but we have clients that were going through it, or we've gotten clients who were in a divorce situation.
Yeah.
So, obviously if they're our client and there's only one of them, then obviously we're 100% on their side.
Right.
Number 2 is, we try to do everything amicably. So God forbid when it is an opportunity, when there is a divorce, obviously there's all the assets that are there. We know what they have, how to do it and things like that. But, the fact is, by all costs is if you're going to go from a 2-income environment to a 1-income environment, you better be ready for it.
That's right.
You better be ready for it.
That's right.
Because it ain't comfortable.
That's
right.
right.
It ain't comfortable. So, knowing that, and again, leading into a divorce is almost like extra retirement planning, right? Retirement income planning. So now it's like a big change. So you got to think about those moments and those milestones, or as uncomfortable as they may be. They definitely still need planning associated with them.
And the biggest thing is make sure you talk to someone who knows what they're doing. Don't
Right.
listen to your friends or whatever the case, because that all goes out the window when you're getting divorced.
So, I was sitting there thinking, like, how do I put a bow on this conversation? We've been talking about making 2026 the best year ever when we talk about divorce. And then I realized for some people, that may be the best year ever.
It's true.
It's true.
It is. Sometimes that, it's one of those things like Peggy mentioned is they just had it and they called it a day. And
Yep.
it's like Liberation Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're on to bigger, better. And listen, you only get so many cracks at life, right?
Yep.
There's only one shot.
Yeah, and that's why at that time they say after the kids are out and things like that, that's why I call it a great divorce. It's like, okay, time to live
Counting the
my second
days
life.
down, right? Yeah.
Time to live second life.
May as well get the rest of the best in.
65, just getting started on Tinder for the first time. What is it? Silversingles.com. Here I
Yeah,
come.
baby.
908-844-8337, the real retirees of New Jersey.com. Let's hit pause for this week, but we will continue this series on having the best year ever next week. So for Peggy Fisher, for Randy Fisher, and the entire team at Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors, get all the information here in the show notes. This has been the real retirees of New Jersey.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189420003 and 5705833.